Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.
Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to have you all here with me tonight. So tonight we're going to be doing spirit-led readings, and that just means that when your loved ones in spirit step forward to me, I will give you the description of how they look, their personality. All I ask is that you listen, and when you do resonate with what I'm saying, please say in the comments. Sorry, this is my third time going live kind of on my own, so still getting used to it. I just want to say some welcomes to people who have joined. So I just want to show. So Kiki Law says, gracious greetings. Thank you for being here tonight, Kiki. Chelsea says, hello. Hello, Chelsea. Thank you for joining us tonight. Michelle Brown says, good evening, Sarah and Jonah. Oh, thank you, Michelle, for mentioning my son. Hopefully I get a message from my brother. Well, Michelle, don't be afraid to ask him to step forward. I have to wonder, I'm getting ahead of myself, but was your brother slightly shy in life? I do feel a young man here, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Also, Nikki Chamberlain says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Nikki. So happy to have you here with us. Let's just... Sorry, everyone. So again, I just would like to explain a little bit how we're going to do the readings tonight. So they're spirit-led readings. That just means, actually, you know what? Let's go back a bit. Let's just, I want to say welcome to the crow's nest, because that's how I decided I'd like to name my lives tonight. A little homage to my last name, Sarah Redcrow. I have always loved crows and ravens, spiders and bumblebees. Those were my spirit animals, my guides. Did you know that in some cultures, mine included, that it is believed that if you give offerings to crows and ravens, they could carry your messages up to your loved ones in spirit, because they have the ability to go between worlds, between the veils. And same with spiders. I know a lot of people, they see a spider and they're like, oh my God, no, ooh. And since the passing of my son, I have been even more attuned to spiders and crows and ravens. When I was a child, I was able to hear spirit, but it was almost like whispers or muffled conversations. And, when you're a kid, you don't really do much about it. I was always aware, even growing up, but again, I didn't really pay too much attention to it. It wasn't until the year 2021, in November specifically, my family contracted the COVID virus. And it's an awful thing to go through. Unfortunately, my son, Jonah, he was 20 years old at the time, a month shy of his 21st birthday. He passed away very, very suddenly from complications due to COVID. He had COVID pneumonia. And I was so broken, just like a lot of us, when our loved ones, especially whether it be your child, your parent, your spouse, sibling, even your four-legged friend, you feel so crushed, and that fear of never being able to talk to them again, never be able to hear from them. And I was there with you. And then I remembered, hey, wait, I could hear spirit as a child, and I've always believed in the spiritual world. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family that believed in it as well. So when I decided myself that, you know what, I'm not ready to say goodbye, I'm going to learn how to say hello again, I was so very blessed to have that support of my family. And I found this wonderful group, Mediumship Communicating with the Dead, Grief, and Loss. I met Hollis Taylor, and they have helped me tremendously, because I remember doing a death chart reading with Hollis, which I recommend to everyone because it does really get you to somewhat have an understanding of the whys and the hows of your loved one passing. And I remember at the end of that reading, I asked Hollis, I explained to them how I wanted to learn how to communicate myself. And ironically enough, a few months prior, I attended a mediumship fair in my hometown, and I asked the medium there, I said, do you think I could do it? And they were telling me, oh, you're either born with it or you're not. Well, here's the thing. We are all born with the ability to communicate and learn how to. And that's the thing that I'll always love about Hollis, is instead of telling me no, they said, yeah, why not? Just have faith and trust in yourself. So now anytime any of you that come for a private reading with me and you ask me that, I tell you exactly the same thing, to trust in yourself, believe in yourself. I always like to share a picture of my son because he plays a huge role in this. My son in spirit is the one guiding your loved ones to our readings. My son's name is Jonah. This picture was taken when he was about, I want to say 17 or 18. We were walking home and that butterfly just happened to land on his shoulder. And one thing, my son didn't like bugs. So it took him a lot for me to be like, let me take a picture. But yes, that's the face who helps your loved ones. So remember earlier when I asked Michelle if her brother was slightly shy? Michelle Brown says, yes, very around people he didn't know. He stayed quiet. So thank you for that validation, Michelle. I'm hoping that maybe he will step forward a little bit more. I just want to show as well. Jay says hi. Hi, Jay. Thank you for coming here with us tonight. Alyssa Haycroft Nichols says, evening, everyone. Well, evening, Alyssa. Thank you again. Alyssa, I know you've joined us before, and I'm always so happy to see new faces or new names and reoccurring names. I love the support, so thank you all. I just want to give shout out to our group in mediumship communicating with the dead, grief, and loss. Sorry, again, have patience with me. I'm still getting there. Oh, okay. Okay. So with that, if you're ready, also I like to say, if your loved one does not come forward tonight, please know that they are still very much around you. You know, a lot of our loved ones, especially if they had a shy personality in life, they may carry that over, or they might prefer to do more of a private one-on-one reading, and that's totally fine. I know before I started doing mediumship or doing lives, I would come to these lives in hopes of my son coming through. And if anyone can see, my son is acknowledging me. I don't know if you noticed my lights flickered. He's really good on lights. But just know that don't be afraid to ask your loved ones to step forward, and don't be discouraged if you don't get a reading tonight, okay? Just know that they are with you. Amber. Hello, Amber. Thank you for being here with us. Amber Sanchez. Oh, Alyssa says you're doing great. So thank you. Oh, Tracy says, sorry, I'm late. Hi, gorgeous. Hi, Tracy. Hi, gorgeous yourself. And I love this. How I said earlier, don't be afraid to ask your loved one. Nikki Chamberlain says, hoping my husband has a message for me. And you know what, everyone, don't feel afraid to ask. So for those of you who just started to join, if you're new to one of my lives, I do spirit-led readings. So that just means that my son brings your loved ones forward who would like to bring a message. Sometimes I get what's called piggybacking. So I'll sometimes get two spirits coming in as one, and then I have to kind of separate. So at any point, if you hear I give descriptions on how your loved ones look, their personality, just basically anything that they want to share with me that can say, hey, I'm here, hello. Your job is to just listen, and if anything at all resonates with you, please say, hey, that's I recognize this. When that happens, if there's like more than one, I try to see who I'm drawn towards more, and we just kind of go from there. If I hope that makes sense to everyone. So Susie K. Schuyler says, hi, Sarah. My mom passed away yesterday and now joins my husband who passed away 12 months ago. Are there any message fit for me from them? Susie, I'm so sorry to hear that your grief, especially for your mother, is so fresh, and for your husband. Those are two big losses. I just want you to know, don't feel shy to ask them to step forward, okay? I am doing spirit-led, so whoever steps forward, just listen to see if you can recognize them, okay? And again, I'm sending you so much love and light, and I just want you to know that they're always with you. That bond, especially the bond that you share with your mother, is endless, timeless. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so so I apologize if I don't say your name, Baris. When you ask Insta, what do you mean by that? Okay. So with that, let's take a deep breath in. I'm trying not to be nervous tonight, so bear with me. Okay, so okay. So I do have a young gentleman stepping forward. He kind of chuckles because he says, "You think I'm young, hey?" I think he has a playful, shy personality. He's quite tall. I would, but mind you, everyone, as I said many times, I'm 5'1", so everyone's quite tall to me. He's taller. I would put him maybe about 6 feet, maybe 6'2" around there. Very broad shoulders. He's got, I want to say, almost kind of like an athletic build to him. Kind of reminds me of a football player, that type of build. His hair is shorter. It's a darker brown. I feel on the sides, it's a little bit more shaved closer to his head. I think it's the term is like a fade haircut, and it's a little bit longer on top, but not how where my hair is like hanging, not like that. Um, when he smiles, he has, I notice he has a dimple right on the one corner of his smile. He's very handsome, very nice jawline, very straight nose. And when I look at his eyes, because I'm trying to see, because I want to say they were a deep brown, but I can't help that in certain lighting, they might have looked lighter than what they are. I'm just going to see. He's making fun because I feel that he might have joined our readings before, or he was listening when I said about description, because he's like, "Aren't you going to describe my clothes, or am I naked?" So he's got a good sense of humor. um, he's wearing jeans. I see him in white running shoes, but they're not like the brand new running shoes. They look like he's had them for a bit. They're well worn. Let's put that. And he's wearing, it looks like a jersey style t-shirt. So it's kind of V-neck. It's black. And then I see the colors. It's like a green and a yellow. There's a logo on the front, but I can't quite make it out. I'm kind of wondering if this wasn't like a football jersey that he had. So Brandy, hello Brandy, says, "My hubby sounds just like him." Okay. So I'm just going to see the age that he's showing me. I feel that he might have been a little bit older than what he is showing me. So a lot of times our loved one in spirit can often come in at any age they like. This gentleman, I would put him maybe mid 30s, early 40s is what he's showing me. When he first stepped forward, I would have thought more later 20s, early 30s. So, and Carla says, do you know his age? And I just said, so when he first stepped forward, when I said that he seemed younger than what he might have been when he passed, he kind of looked at the tail end of 20s, early 30s, but then he started showing me more maybe later 30s, early 40s. Let's just see here. Sorry, everyone. Oops. So Brandy says, yes, he's been here before. And then Carlos Solis says, sounds like my sibling. Brandy also acknowledges that, yes, he's always wants to be younger. And Brandy says, he thinks he looked his best, but I don't. Okay, so Carla, I just want to ask, besides the description, what else can you take? I'm just going to ask him if he could maybe show a little bit more of his personality to me. So he's bringing me back to his shoes. Again, his shoes were white, they were worn, they're runners, but I've really noticed that there was like, it looks like grass stains on them. So from that, he was just saying that, you know, he was outside a lot. I feel that he's really, really active. He was showing me like lawn mowing, but I do feel that in his younger age that he might have played football, because he keeps on, oh, I love it when they make me do this. So I don't play football. I don't watch football, just when it comes in the thing. But you know, like when they kind of go down and like they have to pass the ball between their legs to the other player. So he's showing me that right now. So I think that in his younger age, I'm feeling like high school that he would have played. So Carla says he owned a lot of shoes and a good at any sports. Carla says he loved football. Carla, would you be able to take the age that he was showing me that he might have passed at? I want to say it was later 30s, maybe mid 40s. Because I feel like he wasn't old. He's saying, I had so much life to live. Carla says he played when he was younger and he was a high school coach. My brother passed at, oh, sorry. My brother passed at 46. Was he your older brother? I do feel that I'm drawn to Carla. Brandy, I do believe I read for you before, but I do feel more drawn to Carla. Okay. So Carla says yes. Would you understand him? So for his personality that I'm getting, he was outgoing, but there was this gentle side to him. I just heard him saying, hi, sis, and he's presenting you with a pink rose. He was also showing me that when you two were younger, like in your teenage years, it was like, would you understand that he liked to kind of like bug you, kind of like not tease you in a mean way, but that sibling kind of, he said that he liked to kind of get under your skin. But he had so much love for you and still does. I get he's saying that he was always looking out for you. And would you understand him that he was very opinionated about when you were younger and you want to go on dates with other like young guys? He had to kind of do like the check, like, or a little bit of intimidation, like, don't you mess with my sister. Would you understand that, Carla? So Carla says, oh yes, he was my protector. Well, Carla, he says you were worth protecting. I just have to ask, because like he's really making me feel that, especially growing up, that he took on a big role, like almost like a father figure to you. Would you understand that? Like, that's the feeling that I'm getting from him. Um, he does want you to know that he says, I made it to where I was supposed to go. And by that, he's showing that, he made it, he says, to heaven. I'm here. I'm safe. Um, do you often like write letters to him? Because he was showing me, I see you, and it looks like not a notebook, but just like a pad of paper, and I see you writing, and he's standing on your shoulder, like not on your shoulder. So he's standing behind you, and I see him kind of peering over your shoulder. And he's making me feel like you write letters to him because he says that I read them. Okay, so Carla says, oh, sorry. Oh. Carla says, no, but I have been thinking about it. And I'm going to take that you've been thinking about writing to him. She also says his 2-year anniversary is around the corner. He does want you to know that he's still very much with you. He hears you when you do talk to him. For his, he was just showing me for his, I don't know if it was his first anniversary or a birthday or something, but did you guys like do like a balloon release? Because he was showing me what I think, because I don't know what you look like, Carla, but every time when I see this one woman, I just hear sister, sister. And I see other people around, and it's like you guys are holding the balloons to send up to him. And then Carla just asked me any messages for his daughter or his wife. For his daughters, he says that he's so proud to be their dad. He says that that it's been really hard. I feel that the older one that she's not really wanting to show her emotions when it comes. Sorry, I'm trying to like decipher this. Your brother is just saying, he says, don't worry, she'll come around. He was saying for his wife, he puts his hands on his heart and he says, oh, she is the love of his life. But he says that he wants her to be happy because she's been really struggling, is the feeling that I'm getting. He wants her to know that it's okay. That's all he says, that it's okay. I feel that when you tell her that she'll understand what he means by that. And he's also showing me pinky promise. So I'm not too sure if that's something that you two did or him and his children, or maybe him and his wife. So Carla just says, oh, good. He left 4 beautiful daughters and a wife that miss him so much. He was just saying that he goes, I love my family so much. And he says that his passing was very sudden, or it felt very sudden to everyone, but he wants them to all know that he's still very much around them. And he was just saying that he is so proud of you because you have been such an amazing aunt to your nieces, and even with your sister-in-law. He just wants you all to know that no matter what, he's still going to be there. He was just like he was showing graduations and weddings. He says, I'm going to be at every event. Um, he just wants all of you to know as well that he hears every one of you when you talk to him. And he says that it warms his heart to know that he was so loved. He says that I knew that in life, that my family loved me so very much. But he says that it makes him happy to know that that love didn't just die as well. So Carla just says, yes, it did. We love him and miss him. I have been trying to be there for them as much as I can. And you know what, Carla? That's better than nothing. You know, he wants you to know that you're an amazing sister, an amazing best friend. He calls you his best friend. And he says, I'll still be watching out for you. He says, look for my signs. He was pointing to the sky, and he was showing me clouds, and then he was showing me the stars. So I'm not too sure if there was something to do if you guys used to like to look up at the stars, but he was just saying, when you're looking up, I'm looking down at you. He's just giving you huge kisses. So I want to thank you, Carla, for being here tonight, and I want to thank your brother. And again, I send you my condolences, because I also know what it's like to lose a sibling, and it's hard. So thank you both. So Carrie says, hey, Sarah, good to see you. Thank you for joining tonight, Carrie. I just want to give a shout out to Susie K, because the message that she gave for Carla. Carla, you sound like an amazing sister-in-law and auntie. Love to you. That's so sweet, Susie. And she does. Oh, Carla says, thank you, Sarah. Well, thank you for being here with us tonight. Okay. Let's see. Who else do we have? So I do have a older lady stepping forward. I was giggling because when I said older, when I was getting ready to say older, she just, her head, because when she was like looking down, I see her walking with, it looks like a walker. And I was going to say an older lady, and she just like looks up, and I hear, who are you calling old? She goes, it's not polite to comment on a lady's age. So I'm just going to describe how she's showing herself to me. I will just mention that I would probably put her age to be maybe in her later 70s, maybe 80s. I feel that when she was younger, she was a little bit taller. So in her younger age, I would maybe put her at like 5'5", 5'6". I really like her personality. So that's the thing that popped up for me, was her personality. And by that is she's spunky, she's spicy. She just has this biggest, beautiful smile. I noticed like when she was with her walker, she kind of has more of a stooped, um, I don't want to say height, but I feel because where she's using the walker, um, I do feel that she might have had some issues with her upper back because I was like feeling kind of pain between my shoulder blades. She has her hair is shorter and it's kind of like it looks like if you put them in curlers and then brush it out. Her hair is very white. Very, it almost reminds me of like a halo. She has glasses on. They're a little bit bigger and I want to say like a gold frame. She also has the attachment so that they hang from here and when they can just like sit. So she says that so she doesn't lose them all the time, is what she's saying. I do feel that despite her spunky personality, she was very soft spoken. Um, I do feel that she did have some hearing issues because when I said soft spoken, she's like, huh? And then I saw her adjusting a hearing aid and she goes like this because you know when you get too close to a hearing aid and it makes that whistling sound. So I heard that and she goes, oh, she's like, darn thing, always giving me trouble. How I see her dressed, she's wearing lady slacks. They're kind of like a darker, deeper purple and a white blouse that buttons up in the front. It's a short sleeve. When she steps closer to me, she really has that almost like that baby powder scent to her, fresh lawn, like when you know when you like wash your clothes and it has that fresh scent to her. So that's the one thing that really stands out about her to me. Um, when I look at her hands, because I notice she has a little bit of tremor to her hands, and the top of her hands, the skin is very fine. And she was showing me kind of like a little bit of bruising, but I feel that she says that at her age, even a slight little bump and there'd be a bruise. She does wear a lady's watch. It has like gold. It's like smaller, delicate with a gold face. And she was showing me that she has like it looks like Kleenex or something in the middle, like that she would put in the band. Would anybody be able to recognize her? I just want to say, Alyssa, for my last reading, said that that was beautiful. Thank you, Alyssa. So, also with this lady, I do feel that she comes from a big family. Um, she was showing me what looks like a picture. So I see her in the middle and then like rows upon people. So there's like a row in the background that I think represents her children. And there's at least 6 of them. And then some older, it's kind of a mix between ages for the other going forward. So I feel like this might have been like a family reunion, possibly her last. She said that her family did like to do big gatherings. So Susie K says, it does sound like my husband's grandmother. Susie, would you understand for her, like she was the matriarch of her family. Like everyone loved to go see grandma. You know, I was seeing her sitting and it looks like a rocking chair. And she was showing me, I want to say it looked like she was like crocheting, not so much knitting because I recognize the little crochet hook. And then I see a younger girl. This girl at the time, to me, she looks to be between the ages of 12, maybe 14, has shoulder length, kind of sandy blonde hair or very light brown hair. And I just hear, hi, hi grandma, and she gives her a kiss on her temple, like the lady that's here. So Trinity says, hello Trinity, nice to have you here. Again, I'm just going to do a quick recap. So this lady, I like her personality, very spunky. When she first came in, she was with her walker, and I was gonna call her older lady, and she's like, we don't mention age. um, I do feel that she was soft spoken. Her hair is very white, and it just reminds me when I say that the curlers and then how it halos out, because my grandmother had the same style hair, so that's the best way I can describe how to get that look. She wore bigger glasses. They're like gold framed, and then she had them like on a chain. Oh, sorry. So Michelle Brown says she kind of sounds like my grandma. She was 71 when she passed. She would put her hair curled up in the top. She did walk like that whenever I took her anywhere. Had a gold watch and a chain on her glasses. She did like to make stuff with yarn. Okay. I wonder, Michelle. And Michelle, would you understand your family? Like, it's a big family. I know that some people will be like, well, any family's big, but there are some that are like big, big. And would you understand hosting like family reunions? Because the picture she was showing me, I noticed it was like out almost like in a campsite area, like picnicky. And I saw her in the middle, and she was kind of sitting on her walker, because her walker was the type where they had that little bench. And then I was seeing like at least 6 adults that I want to say represent maybe her children standing behind her, and then like kind of around her and in front there was like various ages of people, from like young adults to like small children. So Susie K says, okay, so no, Sarah, she had only one son and a small family. As you continued, it didn't resonate. Okay, no, that's fine, Susie. And don't like, if you want to hear from your mother-in-law, or definitely don't feel bad, or don't feel shy to ask her to step forward. Okay, so Michelle Brown says she had 5 kids. We did always gather at a campground. Okay, so would you understand, Michelle, because I do feel that I'm drawn to you. Your grandma, she was the kind of soft-spoken type, but had like that, that fire in her, that little spunkiness. But she was really the matriarch, like the head of the house. Everyone came to grandma, whether it be for advice or just to be around her. Like, she was just one of those people that made you feel safe, made you feel comfortable no matter what. And she had great advice and great cookies. It was funny because she was showing me a huge like tray of cookies. I was seeing like some chocolate chip, but those like ones, I think they're called snickerdoodles. I also am getting from her that some of her love language was through cooking. So Michelle says, oh, definitely. Well, would you understand her saying to you, hi, baby? I feel that she had little like nicknames for all of her grandchildren, and that, like, whether it be baby, or she was saying like sweet pea. Would that make sense to you? So I was also, because she was mentioning about recipes, and she was showing me it. Like, did she have a big collection of like recipe books, like Companies Coming and all that? So Michelle Brown says, I love my grandma. She always told me I was her favorite. She did like to bake. Oh, okay. So that totally makes sense when she right away she says, "Hi, baby." Now you were her baby. Um, so she was mentioning cookbooks and that. Did you inherit them, or are you kind of like following in her footsteps with the baking? She was just saying, especially you understood the value importance of family. She says to for you to keep up family traditions, and she says, know that I'm there. I'm watching. I'm watching. She says she does want you to say. She does want me to tell you that um, there's no obstacle too big that you can't get over. That even in times where it seems like nothing is going your way, she says, just have faith. She says, have faith, remember to pray. And she says, it will work out in the end. So, Michelle, I hope that you're able to resonate with what she was saying to you. So I love this validation. So Michelle Brown says she had her recipes and cookbooks. My daughter loves to bake now. Okay, and that's perfect because she just said about keeping up with family traditions and values. Um, she does want you to know that you are stronger than what you think, and to know that you're not alone, even when you do feel like you're alone. And she says that actually, she's not saying it, but you know that song that ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no river wide enough. So she was just kind of singing that to me, and I do feel that that is totally directed at you. She does want you to know that she is very proud of not only you and what you have accomplished, but your children. And she goes to me, she goes, shh. She's like, don't let anyone else know that you're my favorite. She goes, I love each and every one of my children and grandchildren. And she's saying great grandchildren. She was saying that one day that you'll be the matriarch of the family. She says you just have to find your voice. So I hope that you're able to resonate with that, Michelle. So Michelle, I just want to share this with everyone. Michelle Brown says, I do feel alone since my brother passed, and I'm trying to keep everything together for my mom. You know, that's some really big shoes to fill. Know that you aren't alone. Actually, Michelle, I was just going to ask because earlier, was your brother taller? And did he have darker hair as well? He would keep short. I see your grandma and I keep on feeling like a male presence kind of behind her, but I don't know if he's like stage fright or didn't want to come forward, but he has like the kindest eyes because I see him kind of like peeking over. I feel like he's like really curious, but he's kind of holding back. And was he kind of older? Like, I keep feeling that maybe in his 40-ish. And even though like he's showing me he's got a nice set of hair, but I do feel that it was starting to kind of go a little bit thinner on top. Would you be able to recognize this young man that keeps peeking at me? Okay. So Michelle just says, yes, taller than me and short hair, but my younger brother, very shy. Okay. So I'm just going to see if I could ask him to maybe if he wouldn't mind just stepping forward. Your grandmother, she's patting him on the face and she goes, it's okay. it's okay. And she's like kind of like trying to scoot him forward. He's just right away, he popped and he goes, hi. And then he like steps back. Your grandmother's saying that he is safe. She says, because your mother, is that her daughter? Okay, so Michelle says he passed 2 weeks before he turned 40. Yes, he was going bald. Okay. So the message that your grandmother has for your mom, she says that no mother should have to bury her child first, that that's a heartache that's going to sting for a long time. She goes, but she wants her to know that she has your brother with her. He's safe. She says, one glorious day we'll all be together. But till then, she says, just know that we are safe. We're safe and we're together and we're still with you. And as another mother to your mother, I'm sending her so much love and strength and healing light. And to you too, Michelle, because I've been in both shoes, a grieving mother and a grieving sister. So I'm sending both of you so much love and light. I just want to thank you for being here tonight and thank your beautiful grandmother and your brother for coming. So thank you both so much. So Alexandria, sorry, says that's definitely Dan. Sorry, Alexandria, I was just kind of curious. Were you meaning Michelle's brother, or did you recognize someone else that came forward? And thank you for being here tonight. Okay. So Michelle, I just want to share this, and says, my mom found Danny after he passed. Michelle, I'm so sorry for your mom. Oh, and thank you for answering me, Alexandria. Says, yeah, we are related. Well, thank you both for being here. Your grandmother does want to let you know to never stop being uniquely who you are. She's saying that you have a bit of her feistiness, and just know that she is with you always. So thank you both for being here tonight. Okay. And if anyone is ever interested in booking a private reading with me, here's my link at the top, psychicinsights.life/Sarah Redcrow -2. The -2 is kind of funny because when Hollis was making my link, it would not work without the -2. And then we thought, well, of course it wouldn't work without it because my son helps me. So it's not just me doing it, it's both of us. But thank you for being here with us tonight. Now let's see who else. Oh, so Carla says, oh, sorry. Carla says, Sarah, do you feel how they pass when you connect with them? You know, Carla, that's a good question. Sometimes I do. Sometimes they'll share with me how they passed. So I'll sometimes get like symptoms. I'll kind of feel what they were feeling. So if they were having trouble breathing, I'll kind of feel that heaviness in my chest. There's been times where if it was an accident, I would feel a certain spot on my body, like the impact. Sometimes they will tell me, I just want to let everyone know, sometimes I don't always get names from spirit. So that's where I usually just give the description, because sometimes I won't, for whatever reason, just don't get their name. So I do offer either direct connect. And when I do that, I just ask for their first name, nothing else. Or otherwise, we can just do who's around like we are tonight. I hope that that answered your question. And thank you for being here, Carla. Let's see. So I do have another lady stepping forward. With her, she's very, I don't know how to explain it, but just this very calmness around her. She's a little bit taller. I would put her maybe about 5'6", very slender build. She has like longer hair, it kind of comes just below her shoulders. It's very white. She has bangs. When she smiles, like, it reaches her eyes. She's got a very petite nose, delicate features, high cheekbones. How she's showing me herself wearing it, it's a long kind of dress with the bell sleeves. It's kind of like cream colored, and she has like a what looks like a leather kind of thicker belt around the, almost like a corset type belt. It does up with strings in the front. Ironically, she's showing me her barefoot, but I do see it looks like she has a very delicate gold ankle bracelet. I would put her, in her age wise, she looks to be like later 60s, 70s, very in good shape. She keeps on, it's she keeps on like like the tinkling of like bells, like that, almost like wind chimes sound when she walks. I keep hearing that. How she's showing me is her just being outside. I see her walking along what looks like a riverbank. I wouldn't say beach, because when I look down, it seems like little pebbles. And she shows me, it's like in her windows, she had like different crystals that she would hang. Would anybody be able to recognize her? I feel that she was very down to earth, soft spoken. When she laughs, like, I see her holding her belly and her head goes, and she just gets a sense of she love life. But I almost feel that if she could, she would have been living more off the grid than having to deal with people. From what she's saying to me, it wasn't that she didn't like being around people. She liked being around like her people. She's very, when I say the term love and light, she was very love and light. So Alyssa says she sounds beautiful. She is. She reminds me of a fairy. Like, that's, you ever see Lord of the Rings and the elves in there? Very like regal, very just, that's what she reminds me of. And maybe it's because how she's dressed. So Alexandria says, I'm sorry, I did have a question. If Dan had a message for his son who's in the hospital right now. Okay, Alexandria, I'll just finish with this one and then I'll ask Dan again, okay? But, oh, so the lady that is here with us, she goes, oh, no, she's like, it's okay. She's like, bringing him back. So Dan wants you to know that he is very aware of his son being in the hospital. His son, he's younger. I want to say more young teens. Dan was just saying that he was, I don't know if there's a chair right beside the hospital bed, but he's often sitting there. Would you understand? Did he call his son buddy? Especially like when he was younger, like I keep hearing, it's okay, buddy. You're doing good. It's okay, buddy. He was very close with his son, is the feeling that I'm getting from him. He was just saying that he's tough. He's going to pull through. He just wants his son to know that he refers to himself as daddy, but I do feel that that was more from when his child was a lot younger. But in this moment, he says, it's okay. Daddy's here. Daddy's here is what I keep saying, or what I keep hearing. I'm sorry. I hope that that answers your question. So Alexandria says, they were very close. Yes, I did get that. And just, I do feel that he is going to be okay. And, Dan was just saying that that there has been kind of like a back and forth between the doctors. Like, I do hear that they've been running a lot of tests. He does say, don't be afraid to like ask for things to be done, like so for certain tests. Okay, so Michelle just says he has a son with him on the other side. He would be 11. The one in the hospital is 21. Okay, so he is making me aware that in his eyes, they're always daddy's boys, right? I do feel that he will pull through it. I just have to ask, is he in a induced coma state right now, Michelle or Alexandria? Because Dan was just saying is don't be afraid to ask the doctors questions. Like he just keeps on saying, don't be afraid to question the doctor or ask about certain things that are being done. But he does say that he is very much there with him. He says that his son's a fighter, that he'll pull through. So I hope this was able to answer some of your guys' questions. I just want to go back to the lady that stepped forward. Would anybody be able to recognize her? So I just want to say again, I want to put her in maybe the mid 60s, 70s. She's very fit for her age. She has longer hair. It goes a little bit past her shoulders, and very white. She wears bangs. She's got petite features, nice high cheekbones, thin nose. The outfit that she's showing me, it's a long, kind of like cream colored white dress, and she has this. It's a belt that kind of looks like oh my goodness, like a corset type in the front, but not like a traditional like stuck you in corset. And her sleeves on her dress are kind of like bell shaped. I noticed that she doesn't wear she's not wearing shoes right now. So I kind of take that as if she liked to be close to the earth. Like I feel she's very spiritual, very in tune with nature. She keeps on showing me like crystals hanging in her window. Would anybody be able to recognize her? And I just want to give a shout out to Michelle. So Michelle just answered my question. So Michelle says a lot of tests on him. He got hit by a deer while riding a motorcycle. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry to hear that. I do feel that he's going to pull through. His dad says that he's a fighter, but there's going to be like a lot of work. And then Michelle did say that he was slowly getting better. Okay, so I'm just going to ask, does anyone recognize the lady one more time? If not, I'm just going to ask if she has a message for us. So the message that she has to give is to not rush life, enjoy the little things. Don't be afraid to get dirty. And when she's saying this, she's like showing me her in her bare feet, like literally like in the ground. She says, don't be afraid to break out of the cocoon. And by that, I do feel that she means like what society expects, but to be yourself fully and truly. She says, because you are uniquely you. There's no one else like you. So why should you try to be like everyone else? She says that the ability to live your life fully and truly how you want is a blessing and a gift. To always have patience and understanding, because you never know when your patience or understanding that you have for another person could be their saving grace, is what she's saying. I just want to thank her for popping in tonight. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Aishka. I'm so sorry if I didn't say your name right, but she says, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing great tonight. So you did ask me a question about your lower back. So I don't really do medical intuitive, but I will say definitely follow with what your doctor says. Always trying out new yoga stretches. Even the gentle yoga is life-saving. It'll help. And honestly, don't be afraid to meditate on it. Like, don't be afraid to manifest healing towards your lower back. Even if you close your eyes and imagine a ball of like golden light or whatever color gives you peace, and imagine it encircling that part of your body. I wish that I could answer you better by that, but I will always say keep up with what your doctor says. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love and healing light. I'm sorry I couldn't answer your question more fully. So I agree. Oh, sorry. So Alyssa says, hopefully someone who will watch the replay will recognize her. She sounds like someone who I aspire to be at her age. Right, Alyssa? She sounds so just at peace. Like she figured out the key. Carla says, whoever she is, we will all take her message. Yes, I do feel that she had a beautiful message for us. Wendy says, hi, my husband passed away last year. I would be so appreciative for a message from him. Okay, Wendy, definitely ask him to step forward. I'm doing spirit-led readings at the moment. So whoever, I invite every and all spirit to step forward if they have a message. And Magic with Moonlight says, hi, everyone. Hello, Magic. So glad to have you here tonight. Okay, I'll just see if I have anyone else who would like to step forward. And remember, if you are ever interested in booking a private reading with me, if you look at top, there's my link to book. And again, I strongly say if your loved one didn't come in tonight, do not be discouraged. Sometimes they just like to have more of a one-on-one private session. Oh, and for Aishka, I really hope I'm pronouncing your name. It's a beautiful name. You know, I would suggest go checking out Hollis Taylor. They do more of the medical intuitive readings. So that I feel that Hollis would be able to help you. Okay, let's see who else who would like to step forward. So I do have a man stepping forward. He's quite tall. I would put him at least about between 6'2" and 6'3". His hair is a lighter blonde. It comes a little bit below his ears. I feel that on top it was like more straight, but when it got a little bit longer, it had a little bit of curl to it. He has a mustache, very nice broad shoulders. He's wearing a cream colored cowboy hat. I see him with jeans and he's wearing cowboy boots. I know sometimes I can get them confused with work boots, but no, they're kind of pointed toed. His cowboy boots are a little bit darker. And for his shirt, he has, I can see like it looks like a white t-shirt underneath and then just a jean button up long sleeve. And he has a big belt buckle. I feel he's very polite because when he came in, he like tipped his hat at me and says, well, hello, ma'am. His eyes are they're very striking blue. Would anybody be able to recognize him? I do feel that he really liked country music, particularly Alan Jackson, because I was kind of hearing that in the background. Carla says, would we be able to rewatch this video? Yes, you can. Just find it. You can either put my name, Sarah Redcrow, in YouTube and you can rewatch it, or if you're in the group, it'll be posted there. So Alyssa says, I'm asking my hubby John, Dad Russ, my Mama Betty, and Papa Herschel to stop on by. Give us a holler. So Alyssa, would you be able to recognize the gentleman that stepped forward? I don't know why, but I feel so drawn to you right now. Again, he's quite tall. I would put him between maybe 6'2", 6'3". His hair, it's like a darker blonde. And when it grew out a little bit, it would kind of have a little bit of curl on the bottom. He has a mustache. He's like really wearing like the cowboy blue jeans, a jean button up. I feel that he had like a white t-shirt underneath because I can just see it kind of peeking out. And he had big belt buckle, cowboy boots, and like a cream colored cowboy hat. He's very handsome, very tall, high cheekbones, and he's got really blue eyes. Would anybody be able to recognize this gentleman? I do feel that he was a country boy through and through. I hear country music. He's showing me he was saying that he liked to go down and play a good game of pool with his buddies. Um, he's just showing me like the pickup truck and this truck that he drove. It's a little bit newer model and it's like a shiny red. But he's also showing me an older truck that he had, and I feel this one he's also showing me. So the older truck, it's older model Ford. It's white. It's got some rust on it, but he was showing me like hay bales. So I'm not too sure if he lived out on like a ranch or something, or if he worked as a ranch hand. But I keep seeing him like he's wearing work gloves, taking the hay bales off, and I was like seeing horses and that in like a corral. Would anybody be able to recognize this gentleman? So Alyssa says, I can't really resonate with anyone with that description unless possibly being John's cousin who passed at 28 named Kevin. He was tall and a country boy. And then Alyssa also says he and John were 9 months apart and darn near inseparable growing up. Would you be able to recognize his features, like the blonde hair and the mustache? And your husband, did he have darker hair? Tall as well, but not for him. I'm kind of getting more of the sense that his style was different than his brother's. With John, I still see like jeans, but I see more t-shirt, kind of more a little bit laid back. Both of them very hard workers. Would you understand that? Mhm. I'm just going to see if there's anything else because I did have this other gentleman step forward as well. Um, he was about around the same height as the first gentleman, but for him, like I see his hair a little bit more shorter, a little bit darker, not like a dark brown, but darker than the first gentleman. He was more clean shaven, uh, but he did have his kind of put his arm around him. So Alyssa says sorry, the mustache and a little lighter hair for cousin Kevin, and John had dark hair and 5'9", both super hard workers. And with John, he was more clean shaven. Like I really, from what I'm seeing from him, he didn't really have that much facial hair, or if he did, he kind of went back and forth to either having like a goatee or maybe a little bit of a mustache to being clean shaven. And would you understand for John, he would bring you flowers like roses. He was good at remembering anniversaries, birthdays. Would you understand that, Alyssa? And believe me, 5'9", that's to me, that's super tall. I'm just 5'1". Okay, okay. So, Alyssa says John was a grizzly bear. Kevin was more clean cut, except for the mustache. Okay. John, was he so how he's showing me right now? He does look significantly younger. But I'm kind of getting the feeling that he was like more in his 30s when he passed. Would that sound about right to you, Alyssa? So Alyssa did validate that John was good at remembering anniversaries and roses from John. Yes. Um, he was almost kind of like a little bit of a Casanova for you. Like you were his moon, his stars, his sun, like everything, because he says, look at her. He's like, she's gorgeous. Um, he does say that your life together, he says he wouldn't trade it for anything. So Alyssa says, John had just turned 38 2 weeks before his death. He was just letting me know that his passing was very sudden. He says that if anything that he hated more was to see you cry. And he says, darling, he says, I wish that I could have held you and wiped your tears. Alyssa just says, another validation. OMG, the sun, moon, stars are our thing. John was just saying that you are his number one. Did you guys know each other? Like, I feel that how he is making me aware is that you two knew each other like as teenagers as well. Kind of, he says that she was my best friend first, and then we fell in love. Would you understand that, Alyssa? John was just saying, baby, I'm so proud of you. He says that you have really, he says that even though it's been so hard with him being gone, but you have really held it together. So Alyssa was just saying, yes, very sudden and unexpected death from freak accident. I'm so sorry, Alyssa. He does want you to know that you were the last person on his mind. He says that. So I do feel that with his passing and how you confirmed about that accident, it was like he said in that moment he would, and I apologize, but I always like to be true to what spirit tells me. But he says in that moment he realized that he was, he was fluffed. But he was saying that he just closed his eyes and your face was in his mind's eye, and he just wants you to know that he loves you so much. So Alyssa says, I felt him hold me that day. He says that he didn't ever plan to leave so suddenly, because he said that you and him had your whole lives planned together, making plans about how you guys are going to be in your old age. Would you understand him saying about you two were supposed to grow old together on the rocking chair, he says, telling youngins to get off your lawn. He's laughing about that because I feel that kids and that he was just a teddy bear is what I'm getting from him. He didn't have a mean bone in his body, but he did know how to stand up for himself and for those he loved. He wants you to know that he'll always be there for you because he promised you forever. He goes, but I want you to know, baby. He says, don't be afraid to live your life. He says, no matter what, I'll love you. He says, no matter what, I'll be waiting here for you, but I don't want you to live the rest of your life sad and in tears. He goes, because he goes, I hated seeing her cry. So Alyssa just says, yes, to growing old, yelling at kids to get off our lawn. We worked on our lawn together. He says it was a beautiful lawn. Yeah, he goes, would you understand? And I feel like, okay, so this is a weird quirk about me. And I feel that maybe me and John had a little bit, but did he like when he mowed the lawn? It was kind of, I like to mow my lawn like back and forth in rows, like not just any which way. And I really feel that he was the same. Like he took pride in his home, in his lawn. He said that he says he worked really hard. He said, not just me. He said, we both worked really hard to have the life that we dreamed of. He says, no, he says, I want you to be brave and you continue that life. He says, and just know I'm going to be there every step of the way. He says, I love you so much. Don't you ever forget that, okay? So Alyssa says, I don't want his legacy to be that his death destroyed me, but it's kind of hard to get to that point yet. And, Alyssa, that's fine. Take it one day at a time. Hold space for each and every one of your feelings, the good ones, the bad ones. And if there's days where you can't get out of bed, then acknowledge that day. If you can, take that day off. Don't ever let anyone try to tell you the timeline for grief, because there is no timeline. But be gentle with yourself. Take care of yourself, okay? And just know that John is always beside you. He's cute. He's like, like those little pom-poms. He goes, I'm your cheerleader. And he's like kind of shaking it, which I find it's funny because like he's just he doesn't seem like that guy that would be that cheerleader, but I love his personality, really. So Alyssa says, yes, we took pride in our home. I would always mow and he would weed eat, and we were always doing something to improve our home. Oh, that sounds perfect. It's nice to find someone who shares the same values. He just wants you to know that you were his best friend. He says, he says, I'm going to be truthful. He says, yeah, we had our ups and downs, but both of you found a way to just come together as one. And Alyssa just says, I was just saying he was my biggest cheerleader today. Oh, well, he was showing you that he heard you. He says, and baby, he says, don't worry, I'm cheerleading. He's like, I'm cheering you on every step of the way. You got this. He says, don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise, but you got this. You're stronger than you think. He says, I love you so much, gorgeous. He's throwing out all sorts of little pet names for you, but the love that I feel coming from him to you, it's so amazing. So I just want to thank you, Alyssa, for being here tonight. I want to thank your husband, John, and cousin Kevin for stepping forward first. So thank you again, both of you. And I hope that the messages that your loved ones have stepped forward with tonight have brought you some peace and comfort. And just know that they're still very much with us, no matter what. So Alyssa just said he and meshed so beautifully together on every aspect. We challenged each other, but in such necessary ways too. And that's beautiful, to have that like give and pull, and that partnership, because not a lot of people get that. So that's so beautiful. And he just wants you to know that he just wants you to live your life out fully. Don't be afraid to enjoy life. He says, I'm right there, and he says, and I'll be right here waiting for you. He says, tell her that I still hold her at night. He was showing me him wrapping his arms around you at night. He says that you smell so beautiful, intoxicating to him. So Alyssa just says, thank you so much. And you're so welcome, Alyssa. I'm just going to see if there's anyone else that would like to step forward tonight. Sorry, my throat's getting very dry. So I do have actually I two stepping forward. They're younger. One's a younger boy. I would put him, he looks to be about maybe 9 years old. He's short, very slender build. His hair, it's almost like a dirty blonde. It was a little bit longer, kind of would go in his eyes a bit. When he smiles, he was showing me that his front tooth, I think it just fell out because baby teeth. He has a little bit of freckling. His eyes are a lighter hazel brown, so light. He's wearing an orange t-shirt and black shorts. The girl that steps forward with him, she looks a little bit older. I would put her maybe about 14. Same color hair. Her hair is shoulder length. They look very, very much alike, like siblings. She's wearing jean shorts and a light pink t-shirt. Both of them are wearing sandals. Hers are more like the flip-flop style, and then his are the ones where the band goes across it. For the young girl, I feel like it was kind of a nervous habit, but she would like tuck her hair behind her ears. She does feel like really protective of this younger boy, because I noticed like she's constantly has her hands on his shoulders. I just want to quickly read what Alyssa said. I keep asking him to help guide me along to learn what I'm supposed to do so I can make it back to him. Alyssa, he just says, just continue being your beautiful self. He says, but you got to take care of yourself too. He says, hon, you know what I mean by this. And he says, I'll always guide you. He says, just trust in when you hear me. Would anybody be able to recognize these two young kids? Again, the little boy, I would put him maybe between 9 years old, 9, 10 at most. They're both slender build. Both kind of have that sandy, blondish, light brown hair, and both light eyes. Little boy, I can see like more freckling on his bridge of his nose and his cheeks. He's wearing an orange t-shirt, black shorts, and sandals that have the strap over. And the young girl is wearing jean shorts, light pink t-shirt. Her hair is about shoulder length. And I do feel that she's always had that sense of protectiveness over the younger boy because she has her hands on his shoulders. I feel that they might have been kind of shy. So Andrea Jackson says, hello, everyone. Hello, Andrea. Thank you for being here tonight. Would anybody be able to recognize these kids that step forward? I was going to see if they could give me a little bit more description to themselves. Oh, and if I forgot to mention, the little boy looks like he had a missing front tooth. When he was smiling at me, he was sticking the tip of his tongue through where his tooth should have been. The images that they're giving me, I feel that their family did a lot of like outdoor activities, like a lot of camping trips. They were showing me them in what looked like a more modern day like canoe. I see them both in life jackets, and there's an adult that would have been behind them. I feel that it might have been their dad. He looks a lot like them, except for more broad shoulders. Um, the little boy was showing me him riding on his bike through trails. Like, I just feel that they spent a lot of time outside together. I do feel that they either passed around the same time or it was very close together. I do feel that it might have been an accident. They keep showing me this like canoe, and then I almost feel like, like if you get water up your nose or it goes down, as we say, down the wrong tube, but that kind of like choking feeling. Would anybody be able to recognize them? Okay, I'm just going to see if they can show me anything else. So again, the young girl, I feel that she had a nervous habit of tucking her hair behind her one ear. I just keep on feeling that repetitive. Like when I'm seeing her do it, it almost like I feel it. They said they wanted their parents to know that they're safe, that they're together. The young girl says, I'll always protect him. Would anybody be able to recognize these children? And I just want to quickly put for Alyssa, she said, I definitely understand what he means by it. Unfortunately, I'm trying. So I promise I will continue to recognize and acknowledge him and not dismiss the signs he sends me. Thank you again so much, Sarah, John, and Kevo. And honestly, Alyssa, that's beautiful. Like I said, it's one day at a time, okay? Just one day at a time, and always hold space for your feelings and reach out to anyone if they get overwhelming, okay? I'm sending you so much love and light. So I'm just going to acknowledge these children again and ask if there was anything else that they could show me. The little boy was just saying that he says that I can do anything. He says, he goes, I ride my bikes. So I do feel that he really loved bike riding his bike. He was just showing me, it's kind of cute because he shows me him on this green mountain bike style bike, and he's literally going over clouds. He's showing me. He does say that he wants his mom and his dad to know that he loves them and that he watches over them. And his sister says that she loves and she misses them. She wants them to know that it's okay. They're okay. I do feel that she was very, very close, especially to her mother. She was showing me family movie nights. I see them sitting on their couch, popcorn. She was saying that she wants her parents to know that they're amazing parents. She loves them so much and that she's always there. She says that I listen, I hear you, Mom. I hope that if someone recognizes these children, that they can receive the message. Just know that your children are okay. They're at peace. They are together. I just want to thank everyone who was able to join us tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. If you're ever interested in booking a private reading with me, which I would love so very much, you can find my link at the top, psychicinsights.life/Sarah Redcrow-2. And again, know that if your loved one didn't show up tonight, it does not mean that they're not with you. Just sometimes they prefer more private one-on-one reading. My son is like that. I just want to acknowledge. So Andrea Jackson says, lovely message. Thank you, Andrea. Melissa Taylor Sanders says, great reading, Sarah. Thank you, Melissa, and thank you for being here tonight. And to whomever was able to receive a reading with me tonight, if you'd ever be so kind to leave me a review on the group page, Mediumship, Communicating with the Dead, Grief and Loss, or Psychic Insights, I love seeing the reviews, and I love doing what I do. I love being able to connect you with your loved ones and giving you hope and letting you know that no, they didn't just disappear. They are still very much with you, and they are rooting for you every step of the way. I want to quickly touch on signs and just be patient. I know the one thing, and I do it myself, when my son sends me a sign, I'll second guess at times, but honestly, the key to receiving those signs is just trusting in yourself. And just know that we all have the ability to connect with our loved ones. It's just about trust and believing in yourself. I just want to share Andrea Jackson says, thank you for sharing your amazing gift with us. God bless you. That's so sweet, Andrea. And thank you. Thank you for acknowledging me and being here and supporting me tonight. I want to thank each and every one of you. So I hope that you all have a lovely night. I will see you this coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I named it my live feed, the Crow's Nest. So welcome to the Crow's Nest. Again, for those of you who just logged on, if you rewatch, I kind of explain why I decided to name it the Crow's Nest. I am sending you, each and every one of you, my love to wrap around you, my strength to hold you all tight, and my healing light to guide you. Know that you're not alone. Reach out to those if you need to in grief, because grief is a hard road to walk. So I just want to share. Alyssa says, I'll definitely be adding a review after I rewatch the video again. Oh, thank you, Alyssa. I appreciate that so much. I just want to show Wendy says, thanks so much for your time and energy. Beautiful messages. Well, thank you, Wendy, for your time and your energy as well. Charlene Donovan says, thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Jonah. Thank you, Charlene, for being here with us tonight. And Alexandria says, beautiful readings. Thank you. Well, thank you for coming here tonight, Andrea. Alexandria, I was reading Andrea Jackson again. Andrea Jackson says, watching from the UK. So it's, I think, are you at nighttime or is it early morning? No, I always get sometimes confused, but thank you for taking the time and joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And Ron Seller says, hi from South Carolina. Well, hello. Thank you for joining. I'm sending you all my love and light, and thank you again for joining me. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, night, week, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.